Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all another Wi-Fi match. This is going to actually be my 5th Wi-Fi match, and we're going to be doing it in the RU tier for the first time. My opponent, however, is actually going to be a very interesting individual. It's actually going to be pokeaimMD, the guy that does a lot of showdown lives and also draft leagues. Pretty good battler actually. He's actually very well known for being very good, because he does a lot of showdown battles, and you know, that's kind of where a lot of competitive players actually get their meta knowledge from. But yeah, so pokeaimMD, we're gonna be doing this match here. According to Pokegame, supposedly this is gonna be a best of 3. Like after this match, if I lose it, I'm guaranteed at least one more match with him. If I win though, I'd actually be guaranteed 2, which would actually be kind of hot, honestly. But yeah, so if you're wondering how I got this match with Pokegame, it's just that I actually don't know, actually. I just kind of asked him if he wanted to do it, and he kind of accepted. I'm not gonna say I figured that he would accept, because honestly I don't know with people of his caliber, but I kind of went out of my way to ask him nonetheless, just because I always heard how he likes Wi-Fi battles. Like, I always hear him on his streams or his videos talking about how much he likes Wi-Fi battles, so I was like, like, I was thinking, what if I just asked him if he wanted to do a match? Would he do it? Like, would he actually do it, or would he just, you know, like, say no or something like that? But he actually accepted, which was actually kind of interesting. I was actually surprised, honestly. So I'm actually, you know, taking advantage of the opportunity. But anyways, so here's the team that he has. He has a Frostmoth, he has a Vaporeon, Rotomo, Beware, a Silvally, which I didn't even know what type it was yet. I assumed it was Steel, though. And he also has a Salazzle, which I don't like. The team that I brought is actually pretty original. I actually made this team. I'm not sure if it's good, honestly, but I didn't find any teams lying around that I could pick up, honestly, that were already made. Usually I depend on those types of teams to actually do Wi-Fi battles like these, but in this particular matter, since I couldn't find any, I just basically had to make my own teams. It should also be noted that we were actually supposed to do this match a while ago, but I mean, specifically because our teams were both outdated, we kind of had to reconstruct our teams, and that's kind of what we did. So basically, I had to make this team entirely from scratch, basically. I don't know how well it's going to do in this match, but we're going to see right now. Right now, I'm contemplating on what lead I should go for. I think I decide to lead with Bolton because he has that Rotomo, which I fear is going to be the lead. And the first thing it's going to want to do is just Volt Switch. I don't want to send in Steelix against Rotomo because it can have Will-O-Wisp, and I don't want my Steelix to get burned. I might need it for Frostmoth if it happens to set up any Quiver Dances or anything like that. But here we go. Joey's card is so funny. But yeah. So, I think he leads off with the Salazzle here, I think. I could be wrong. No, actually it's the Silvally. Never mind, I'm a liar. It's actually the Silvally. I lead off with the Bolton, like I said before. So here, because I fear the parting shot right out of the gate, I decided to just get the damage off right out of the gate as well. It could have been Scarfed, the Silvally, but nonetheless I just want to go for Thunderfang. Maybe something else on his team wouldn't appreciate the Thunderfang. I think Beware could take the hits very well though. But yeah, I'm just going for Thunderfang. Thankfully he wasn't Scarfed on this, and thankfully he does not have Parting Shot, because that would have been bad for me, obviously. He actually just ends up going for the U-turn, which I guess it's still good for him because he gets Switch Initiative and he gets damage on a very frail mon like Bolton. Yeah, because Bolton is very frail, but very powerful and fast. I guess that's why it's frail, because, you know, there's got to be some trade-off when it comes to the stat distribution. But anyways, yeah, so he's going to pivot into Salazzle now, and obviously I don't have a lot of switch-ins for that. Like, the only switch-in I have is Jellicent. The other one is Steelix if I just happen to predict a poison move. And this thing is choice, because if it's not choiced, obviously you can switch it up to Flamethrower, which I wouldn't want. So I just went into Jellicent, which resists both. Does go for the Flamethrower, which is fine with me. Although I think here I go for Scald. I don't know why. I think I was predicting the... Well, actually, I think I just wanted to get a burn on something that comes in. Like, I would have gone for Shadow Ball, but I was just kind of like... I wanted to see if I can burn something. Like this Frostmoth, for instance. Although, obviously, with this Frostmoth, I can't really stay in here, though, because this thing could Quiver Dance. So I think from here, I actually end up switching into the Steelix. Although, I was debating if I wanted to stay in and go for, like, maybe Trick Room or something. And chances are that maybe that could have been the play, honestly. Going for Trick Room here while he sets up his Quiver Dance. But the problem was that he would have been, like, at +2 Spadef or something, and then I wouldn't be able to touch it. I'd have to hard switch in the what's it called, the Steelix. And I don't know if these frost mods carry freeze dry, so like I didn't want to risk staying in with Jellicent, taking a freeze dry at +2. So yeah, like there's a lot I don't know about this frost mod. The only thing I knew about this frost mod was that it has the quiver dance, so I didn't want to, you know, deal with that. I hard switched in Steelix immediately because of that, and because it got +1, I decided to just go straight for the heavy slam. It's a shame though, because I really wanted to get rocks up on this thing before taking so much damage, because now that I'm weakened with the Steelix, now I can't really see my I don't see any opportunity to set up stealth rocks at this point. So basically now this thing becomes death fodder, I guess. Thankfully for me, I do avert a crisis here with the frost mod, because you know the thing was a +1. It could have swept if I didn't take it out right away, honestly. So here Joey's gonna now send out the Beware, which, yeah, I don't got any switch-ins for either, honestly, unless I predict correctly. But I think I don't know if this thing gets double edge, either that or that other normal type move that it can go for. That's 120 base power, I think. I don't even know what other move it gets that's 120 base power. I feel like this thing could get double edge though. But either way, that in itself can take a lot of damage basically. So here I'm just gonna stay in it with Steelix. I wanted to go into Jellicent here, but I decided not to because I was actually afraid of him having like Shadow Claw or something, and he could predict me, honestly. So I just stayed in and just took the Drain Punch. Now here I send in Whimsicott, and I actually just went for the Leech Seed just so that any switch in that he makes can, you know, take the Leech Seed damage. Like I can get some HP back. If he stays in, I'm hoping I can take whatever hit he has, even if it's double edge, because I think this Whimsicott is actually like physically defensive. I don't remember. It's been a while since I actually made this team. But yeah, he's gonna switch out now. He's gonna go into Rotom here, Rotom Mow, which was actually a smart play because he probably saw the Leech Seed coming, and you know, grass types are immune to Leech Seed. So as a result, here I had to go for a U-turn. I think this part is a little good for me though, because he's gonna Volt Switch here. He's faster than me, so he's gonna have to show me his Mon first, and I'm gonna be able to get the switch initiative after I get the U-turn off. Here, I think he's going to contemplate on what he's going to send in. I don't remember if he sent out Silvally or Salazzle. Okay, he does go into Salazzle, and that's good for me because if I went for Leech Seed again or something else that wasn't U-turn, this thing could have put me in a situation where I would have been forced to switch out. Here, I'm actually going to go for the Jellicent, just because I figure Flamethrower, like I just don't want him to Nasty Plot, honestly. Like he can literally go for anything else, but Nasty Plot's what I really don't want from this Salazzle. As depending on the moveset, it can actually probably take me out or something. My entire team, that is. Unfortunately for me though, here I actually end up going for the Shadow Ball rather than the Scald, just because I was kind of fearing the Rotom to come. Because Rotom can deal with Jellicent pretty well. It hits me with Volt Switch or Leaf Storm, and you know, that does a lot of damage obviously. Although unfortunately for me, he stayed in and actually just went for the Toxic, which is not that bad of a play. At least if he was actually anticipating me to over predict and go for Shadow Ball. Because Scald would have done a lot of damage if not take it out. Maybe wouldn't have, I don't know. Because, you know, like Joey wouldn't stay in if he knows that this is going to be taken out, I think. Yeah, because Joey's like one of those very, very well calculated individuals when he makes these teams and does these battles. So it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of figured that Scald wouldn't take him out anyways, and he was just willing to take a Scald in exchange for toxicking my Jellicent. So, yeah. But here he's going to now hard switch into the Rotom, predicting, like I was still going for the Shadow Ball because I was still predicting that Rotom to come, and it did now, so that's actually good for me. That the prediction actually paid off, although I did have to take a Toxic after beforehand. Okay, so here I was actually contemplating on switching out again, but once again I was just fearing that Volt Switch, so I was just thinking, you know what, I got a better idea. Hopefully I can take this Volt Switch. I don't think this thing is like Life Orb or Choice Specs, obviously. So what I'm gonna do here is go for the Trick Room, because I'm Toxic poisoned. So if I live this Volt Switch, I can go for the Trick Room and then just go down the Poison, and I can use all the turns I want, so I can actually let Vikable put in the work here. So yeah, he is gonna Volt Switch, so obviously, and I think he's gonna send in the what's it called? I think it's the Rotom again. No, it's the Vaporeon. Okay, but that's fine though, because that gives me the free switch into Vikavolt right here. But yeah, here's the Trick Room. I am gonna go down to Poison now, and we're just gonna wait so we can actually send in the Vikavolt, because I low-key wanted Vikavolt to put in some work actually. So I'm gonna actually try to do that right now. This Vikavolt is Choice Spec, so it's gonna hit a lot of things on his team really, really hard. Now here, because this Vaporeon could take hits very well, and I know these things can get Wish, I decided to go for the Thunderbolt here just to kind of, you know, like do damage to it, or just take it out entirely actually, because Specs is definitely going to take it out obviously. But yeah, like I just didn't want to go for Bug Buzz here because if he Wish Protect spams, he could just stall me out of Bug Buzzes, and I don't want that obviously. He is going to switch out. He actually had Protect on this Vaporeon to scout my my moveset, like basically what move I was going to go for, and he wanted to find out if I was choiced or not, which is why he switched into Rotom. And this was actually a really good play for him honestly, because this Rotom, I don't know what investments it has, but it takes the Specs Thunderbolt pretty damn well. It makes sense because he's Grass type and Electrical, so it quad resists Thunderbolt in that sense. At first I was wondering why the hell this did like very little despite being Specs, but being Grass and Electric, both types that resist electrical types, is logical honestly. So here, I'm just going to keep going for Thunderbolts because I'm just kind of like afraid of him going for Volt Switch if I switch out, and that's exactly what he does. So I think here he's actually now going to go back into Vaporeon actually. I guess hoping I'd switch out. Or no, actually no. I think he wanted to see if I can actually take him out, or yeah, like take him out with Thunderbolt. Maybe he was thinking I wasn't choiced, but wanted to like continue seeing if I was or something. Oh no, never mind. I know exactly what happened here. Because he was slow, or because I was faster than him in Trick Room, he Volt Switched, went into Vaporeon, and he wanted to Protect again. Because what he wants to do is stall out the Trick Room turns. Now it all makes sense. But yeah, now he's gonna go for the Skull just to get some damage on this Vikavolt. Thankfully, he doesn't burn me, and I can just take this thing out with a Thunderbolt now. And even though the Trick Room will be gone, I can still kind of play around it with Vikavolt. Like I can still keep going for Thunderbolts here, unless he goes into Salazzle, of course. But instead he's actually going to go into Silvally, which is honestly okay with me. I don't remember. I think he goes for U-turn. I don't remember though. Yeah, I think he goes for U-turn, just to get more damage. Oh no, he just goes for the multi-attack because at that range it actually takes me out. I don't know if this is banded, but yeah, it does take me out from here obviously. So I'm going to lose Vikavolt right here. Now here I think I just go into Bolton again, because seeing how well I can do damage to that Silvally, and the fact that I also outspeeded definitely motivated me to send it in. So I send it out right here. I think what I go for here is another Thunderfang, because that was the only move that actually was able to, you know, make it a 2-hit KO basically. I could go for it right now. I was contemplating on going for Thunderfang, just predicting that Rotom to come back, but I don't want to over-predict against Joey. I think history has shown that I've always over-predicted against Joey, and that's why it's always been costing me the matches severely. So here I just made the safe play. I did miss the Thunderfang for whatever it's worth, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still going to have to, like, try to KO this Rotom anyway. I think it's actually good, better, because I don't actually take any Life Orb damage. But here, rather than going for Fire Fang, I decided to go for Crunch because I just wanted to get the guaranteed damage. Like, I didn't want to risk missing the Fire Fang too. So yeah, because that would have been bad honestly. Thankfully it took out the Rotom too honestly. This also kind of gives me the impression that maybe, just maybe, it was also Spadef invested, which probably explains why it takes the Thunderbolts from Vikavolt very well, despite being Specs. But again, it was also quad resisted, so you know, there's that as well. But now he's going to send out the Beware, and again, I don't really have switch-ins for it if double edge is anything to go by. Like everything, it just kind of hits everything really hard, and I only have 3 Mons left, and I don't want anything to get crippled, honestly. So the only thing I got left to do here, obviously, is just go for Play Rough. I am aware that this thing has Fluffy, but it's like the only thing I can do right now, just to get some damage, honestly. Maybe I can put it in range for Moonblast to take it out with Whimsicott. Look at how much that did with Life Orb, bro. That just did nothing, and it was super effective. Just goes to show you the power of Fluffy. But yeah, he's going to take me out with Drain Punch, and he's going to get HP back, unfortunately. I think if it wasn't for that HP recovery, I might have been able to take out the Beware with Whimsicott. Maybe not, I don't know. But yeah. Now here I'm just going to go into Whimsicott, and I think with this Whimsicott, rather than going for the Moonblast, I'm just going to actually try to go for the U-turn. Reason being is just because I'm still afraid of him sending out Salazzle predicting the Moonblast, and he's going to put me in a situation where I'm forced to switch out again, and that would just give him free Flamethrowers or Sludge Bombs, both of which hit my last 2 months pretty well. Probably Sludge Bomb would be the best move, obviously, because it hits Whimsicott for damage, it destroys it in 1 hit, and does the same amount of damage as Flamethrower, basically. So it would hit Scrafty very well too, honestly. Has a chance to poison as well, so yeah, there's that as well. But he's going to send out the Silvally first, and I actually go for the Moonblast. So I actually did make the risky play in just going for Moonblast here. But I think here's where I decided to go for the U-turn. It's right here, because again, the Salazzle is what I'm fearing particularly. So this was actually a 50-50 more or less. Like, I had to predict whether he was going to send in the Salazzle or the Silvally. He went to Silvally, obviously. And I went for Moonblast, risking it for the biscuit. I figured I had nothing to lose. So here, now he's going to send out Salazzle. And now I'm going to go for U-turn. I'm going to send out Scrafty, and what I'm going to do is basically go for knockoff, as that's the only thing I can do. I'm actually glad I went for this U-turn, otherwise this would have been the whole game right here. But now I'm going to be sending in the Scrafty and going for knockoff. Like, I wanted to go for Drain Punch or even a Bulk Up before going for knockoff, but obviously I wouldn't be able to take the Silvally afterwards. So I kind of had to just go for the what's it called, the move here. Here, yeah, obviously knockoff. I was afraid that this Salazzle for some random reason would be like bulky and it would just actually take this knockoff. But I have to remember that this was actually a fully offensive invested Scrafty, so it should be able to take it out, honestly. But you know me, I usually get scared that Mons like survive hits out of nowhere, honestly, because that's kind of happened to me, honestly. In fact, it happened in our first match, actually. But you know, thankfully we take out the Salazzle, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. He still has 2 Mons left, unfortunately, and they both kind of deal with my my remaining team very well. So yeah. I think here he's going to send out the Silvally because all he needs to do now is just multi-attack, since the Silvally that he had was in fact fairy, obviously. As you can see by its feathers on its head. It's actually the what's it called? The fairy type. I'm going to go for Poison Jab here in case he goes for something else. If he like U-turns for whatever reason, I can just probably get the poison on the Beware. Like, yeah, and then maybe follow up with a Drain Punch. Because I think Drain Punch still takes out the Silvally from where it's at right here. Here, yeah, it's gonna take me out with a freaking, what's it called, multi-attack. Now here I'm just gonna send out my last Pokemon, which is Whimsicott. Goal here is to finish off this Silvally. Hopefully I can take a multi-attack. If he has Ice Beam on this, hopefully it doesn't freeze me or anything like that. And then when he sends out the Beware, I don't think I can take it out in one hit. So the only thing I can hope for possibly is for a crit, basically. But yeah, this Moonblast is thankfully going to take out the Silvally. I kind of wish the Silvally went down earlier, honestly. But he was using it for pivoting, so it wasn't easy to take that out, honestly. But now it's going to come down to... This match is actually really close, actually. Because, yeah, it's going to come down to whether or not I can actually crit this Beware. Because, again, I don't think I'm going to be able to take it out. Especially since he got recovery from the Drain Punch earlier. Like, I think if it wasn't for that recovery, he might have gone down. Might have. I could be wrong. You guys can ask Joe if you want. Like, he knows all the calcs for his team, honestly. I don't. I don't even do the calcs very much. Especially for these matches. But yeah, as you can see, I went for the Moonblast and it was not enough to take it out. And he does, in fact, have Double Edge. So I was actually right in fearing Double Edge this whole match because... yeah. Obviously, that not a whole lot switches into it. And for stuff that do switch into it, he has Shadow Claw for, you know, Jellicent or whatnot. Immune to Double Edge, but takes super effective Shadow Claw. And if it's banded, I think it one-shots me too. But yeah. So yeah, that's going to be the whole match. We actually do lose, obviously, like 1-0, which is not bad, honestly. And it's actually going to be our first loss in this game, funnily enough, which is actually kind of cool at the same time because we are actually going to take our first loss to none other than Joey, which honestly, I see it more as an honor than a disgrace, honestly. So that's actually kind of cool. I actually appreciate Joey for actually doing this match with me too, honestly, because I honestly didn't think he was going to actually accept my proposition to do this match. I thought he was just going to be like some, you know, like some of the people of his caliber who were just like, oh, no, I'm not interested or something like that. But no, thankfully, he was actually willing, he was more receptive to my proposition, which kind of says a lot about his personality, honestly, which is one of the things I've actually liked about Joey. If you're wondering, like, I actually have followed Joey for a while now. It's just, I don't know, like, how long. Oh, actually, never mind. I know. I followed him. I don't know if you people have seen his collab with Shofu in the X and Y games. Like, they were doing like an X and Y Nuzlocke thingy, like together. That around that time was when I was following Joey. Actually, when I started following Joey, because he was actually kind of funny, like alongside Shofu. Like, they were just both so funny to watch. So that's kind of why I started following them. Then I also watched his run in the UCL as well. I heard he won the first season, and then he actually had a good run in the second season as well. I actually started watching him in the second season though, because that's kind of where I learned about him. You know, since I first saw the Nuzlocke with Shofu and whatnot. But yeah, since then I followed him, and I've actually liked watching him. Even if I'm not a huge fan of the Showdown lines, just because I'm not a huge fan of Showdown to begin with, like just listening to him is actually kind of like nice. Like I usually just have him like on my, like when I'm doing like stuff, I just listen to his videos basically, just because, you know, he's a good commentator. Unlike me, I'm very terrible. I stutter a lot. Like that's something that obviously needs a lot of work. But yeah. Also, this match I wanted to live record it, but unfortunately, it's because what happens is that for some reason I use OBS to live record, and for some reason it can't seem to capture 1080p on the Elgato for some reason. So as a result, I decided to just record this raw from my Elgato, so that the visual quality on this video is actually pretty good, since I am playing someone of a top-notch caliber as pokeaimMD. So yeah, I kind of wanted this video to look as nice as possible, especially since my own commentary could use a lot of work, honestly. At least you guys have the visual quality to watch. But yeah, so yeah, Joey, he's awesome. Like, thank you for the match, dude. Like I said before, there might be one more match to do. It's all up to him, honestly, like if he wants to do it or not. But I'm perfectly content right now the way it is. Like, I got this one match, and it was actually a lot of fun. I liked it, honestly. And again, I'm just honored that to have even like done it, and for him to have actually accepted my proposition, honestly. So yeah, GG's once again, Joey. Thank you once again. I said this like thousands of times, but I can't be any more grateful. And thank you all for watching this match as well. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you guys don't know who Joey Pogame is, just check him out in the description below. I have all of his handles there. And I also linked down his, in the description his side of the battle, because he actually did showcase his side of the battle, which actually made it a little more hype for me, honestly. And again, feeling very, very honored. Because he usually seems to only upload Draft League battles too, honestly. So yeah, like for Wi-Fi battles, and I don't think I've seen him actually upload like a single Wi-Fi battle alone, like just standalone, honestly. So that's actually kind of interesting. I feel even more special that way, which is actually kind of nice. But yeah, I mean, I think he did say that he was actually gonna do more of these Wi-Fi battles, but yeah, like it's good to see that I was actually one of the first ones to you know, do it with him and whatnot. But yeah, so with all that said, I'll catch you guys for the next match. Take it easy and have yourselves a damn good one.